Okay, in example 5, it says if M, 3, -1 is the midpoint of segment AB, and B is 7, -6, find A. So I am a visual learner, so it's very helpful for me when I can draw a picture. Because when I read the words, I'm not always able to see that. Okay, so it says that M is the midpoint. So I'm going to put M in the middle. I'm going to use my hash marks to show that the segment is being split into 2 equal pieces. And I am also going to label that the coordinates of M are 3, -1. Then I also know that A and B are my endpoints. So I'm going to put those at the end of the segment. And that point B is 7, -6. And I am trying to find the coordinates for point A. So because M is the midpoint, that means that the difference between the x's from A to M should be the same as the difference between the x's for M and B. So I'm going to work my way to the left. So I'm going to start over here by the 7, which is the x value of point B. Now, to get from 7 to -3, I have to subtract 4, which means since M is the midpoint, I would also need to subtract 4 from 3, and that means that my x value for A is -1. Then we can do the same thing with the y's. So if M is the midpoint, that means that from the y value in B to the y value in M should be the same as the distance from the y value in M to the y value in A. So if I start with the -6, which is the y value for B, I would have to add 5 to get to the y value of -1 for M, which means that I also have to add 5 to the -1 to find out that the coordinates for A are -1, -4. Okay. Question 6 says, how many different angles are in the picture below? Label each angle 2 different ways. So we have 3 different angles. I'm going to highlight them. So I have angle 1, I have angle 2, and I have angle 3. Now, I am going to color code so that we can name the angles and keep them matched up as well. Okay. Oops. Sorry, I didn't know I picked up the highlighter, so it looks a little bit strange. Okay, that is good. All right, so let's start with our angle in blue. So we could name that angle XUZ, or we could name that angle ZUX. So what's important is that the vertex is in the middle. I cannot call this angle U because then I don't know which angle I'm talking about. Am I talking about the blue angle, the purple angle, or the red angle? I don't know. The red angle, we could name angle YUZ or angle ZUY. Our purple angle, we could name angle X, U, Y, or Y, U, X. But notice that U is the vertex for all of those angles, so it always has to be the middle letter. Okay, 2 more examples and then we are done with this section of notes. That's pretty exciting. So example 7 says, what is the measure of each angle? So we notice these arcs. So I want you to think for a minute what those arcs mean. Those arcs tell us the angles are equal. So that means I can set the expressions equal to each other. In order to solve for x, I need to get the x's on one side and the numbers on the other side. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. That gives me 23 equals 2x plus 7 minus 7 from both sides. And we get 16 equals 2x. Divide by 2. And we get 8 equals x. Now, we have to be careful because the question asks for the actual measure of the angles. So, the measure of angle X, Y, Z, we are going to find by substituting in the 8 for the X, that's right next to the 23. Oops. There we go. Sorry. And then a plus 23. So when we simplify the measure of angle X, Y, Z, 3 times 8 is 24, plus 23 equals 47 degrees. Now, if I find the measure of the other angle, the measure of angle A, B, C, I should get the same thing, because remember those arcs told me that they were equal. So 5 times 8 plus 7, the measure of angle ABC, 5 times 8 is 40, plus 7 is also 47 degrees. So both angles measure 47 degrees. In the last question, it says, given the measure of, oops, this angle sign should be over here. The measure of angle ROT equals 165. There we go. What is the measure of angle SOP and the measure of angle POT? So we know that the measure of angle ROT is 165. So what that means is that all 3 of these angles together are 165. Now we also can see that there are arcs with hash marks in here. That means that these angles are the same. So all together, those 3 angles should add up to equal 165. We can combine like terms with the x's. So 57 plus 2x equals 165. Subtract 57. Get 2x equals 8. No, 108. There we go. Sorry. And then we are going to divide by 2. And we find that both of those angles measure 54 degrees.